everyone, welcome back to Owlchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So this is going to be your general weekly reading for December 20th through the 26th. If you celebrate the holidays, I hope you have a wonderful one. And if you don't, please enjoy some time off. Hopefully you get from work and get to relax and kind of just do whatever you want to do. So a couple of housekeeping before I pull cards. Number one, this is general, so whenever you see it, it might resonate. Also, if you haven't gone to my website and downloaded the free 2022 moon cycle and Mercury retrograde calendar, do so. Again, it's completely free. I won't spam you, I promise. It's just to give you an idea of when and what energy is going to be coming through 2022. Again, so we're officially in Venus retrograde. So a couple things with the planet Venus. Number one, Venus has a strong attachment to Libra and Taurus. I'm not an astrologer, so I can't tell you all the aspects or the signs that are going to get impacted the most, but you know, everyone's going to feel it in some way, shape, or form. Venus retrograde, Venus actually rules love and money, okay? So a lot of people don't mention the money part. And so, you know, we could be clearing out, you know, how we look at money, how our relationship with it. For some of you kind of freaking out about money, don't, you know, you kind of need to see big picture and, you know, change how your relationships just throughout your life, whether that's with money, with people, you know, everything is going to be kind of coming back around, and we're starting to have to face things, you know, what we want, what we don't want, what are things that we need to work on. You know, certainly for some of you, there could be some past lovers or relationships that kind of spring forward again, and you have to make a clear choice if, you know, you want to entertain it or you don't. What have you learned from that? What you haven't? So this is going to be a very introspective time through this Venus retrograde, and I believe it lasts until March. And again, I'm sorry I don't have the date in front of me, but again, so money and love are going to be kind of a key focus through this retrograde. And this one's going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say turbulent, but definitely letting go, because I think Scorpio energy is involved somewhere, shape, and form. And I'm not an astrologer, so I'm sure if you follow a good one, you'll know what I'm talking about. A lot of endings, a lot of new beginnings, a lot of broken cycles, taking accountability, all that good stuff. And just in time before we move into the new year, right? Okay. Let's see, I'm just going to be pulling another card or two. Okay. You know, so I think a lot of people, especially, we just completed this full moon energy in Gemini, but also in Jupiter. And again, I apologize. I am not an astrologer, so I'm probably just butchered that. But, you know, the thing is that it's all about, you know, releasing and kind of taking accountability for ourselves and our actions and what we want to actually open up and make room for as we move forward into this new year, right? So 2022, you know, I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy year. It's not, but it's obviously going to be a roller coaster ride. And for those of you who have been putting in the work and really focusing and, you know, getting the wheels in motion, whether that's in your personal life or your professional life or just throughout your life, you know, you're going to be in a good place. And, you know, the more you put out there and the more you're consistent and disciplined. For those of you who haven't, you're going to be playing some catch up, right? So, like I said, it's not going to be an easy, smooth sailing year, but I think considering all the practice that we've had in the last couple years, I think you're going to be okay, right? So it's nothing to be scared of. Bottom of the deck, we got Two of Swords. This is the time, folks, to really start to tap in and trust yourself. Use that intuition. The Two of Swords is, you know, it usually shows a woman that's blindfolded, okay, and has the two swords on her chest. So it's about opening yourself up, allowing to receive messages from spirit, universe, whoever you resonate with, okay? The biggest thing is that card, whenever it comes up, it always reminds me of you have two eyes to look and one eye to see. And for some of you, you're second guessing yourself. And this is a time to clear up and say, look, if I'm going to trust anybody in this life, in this, you know, in this experience, it's me. You have to trust yourself, okay? So again, this is a time to be more aware of your body and like the messages that you receive. Do your ears ring? Do you know, do you get kind of like this heavy feeling when you feel like you need to stay away from something, or you feel like, you know, you're chest is tight, or you get excited when something seems really positive, or you get excited, you need to start to really listen and pay attention to what your body and your energy is saying to you, okay? Because a lot of times you are getting those messages, but you're ignoring it. You're like, oh, I don't know what's happening, you know, and it's like you need to ask yourself, are you starting to see reoccurring numbers and things like that? Like, what are you thinking before you even see those numbers? Like, start to check yourself a little bit and be more aware, okay? Because the more you recognize that within yourself, you'll be able to navigate through tough situations. So here we go in the money zone. We have the infamous Four of Pentacles. This is the wealth card, so a really good card to get in the money zone. For some of you, you're really starting to save more. You're starting to really look at what you have and start to grow it. You know what I mean? This is, again, you know, Venus in retrograde, it's not about making these drastic, massive investments. Like, you're scaling back. You're really looking at how you can put your money to work. You know, are there things that you want to invest in, but you need to kind of dig a little bit more, you know, reevaluate, negotiate, go back and see if you can rework the numbers. This is also about being very cautious of where you're spending money, which is a good thing, okay? Now, for many of you, I think in the past, you know, the Nine of Swords came out in reverse, which is a good card, usually in the reverse, because it usually means that for some of you, this is the time that you're really working through some of those challenges, or, you know, your personal relationship with money. Money's energy, by the way, but for some of us, and this includes myself, like I grew up hearing, hey, you have to work really hard for money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, it's not an easy thing to get money. And in a way, that's not true, okay? So the thing is that, yes, you have to be dedicated. Yes, you have to educate yourself and all of those things. But this is, for some of you, it's kind of closing up and getting closure and building a healthier relationship with money and your money mindset, and, you know, healing some of those deep-rooted subconscious things that you have kind of held on to that have held you back from actually making, you know, a good amount of money, right? So money is not evil, and money is not something you should be scared of. It's energy, right? So for some of you, you've either gone through that or you're starting to go through it, and that's a really good thing. And again, that Venus retrograde is kind of pushing you to really evaluate, because for some of you, you're really worried about money right now. You're nervous, you're panicking, you're like, oh, I need, you know, a big chunk, or I need to make more. How do I do this? And don't get nervous. Just kind of take a step back and figure out, you know, take it bit by bit, okay? Stop overthinking. I think for a lot of you, you know, you're kind of, you're looking at this entire, you know, maybe it's a problem, or, you know, an opportunity, or, you know, an experience, and you're getting overwhelmed, okay? And instead, you just kind of need to take a step back and say, okay, what do I need to do? What are my priorities? You know, what do I have? What do I don't? Okay. So, and what are the things that I need to get this going? So stop being so focused on, you know, trying to conquer everything in a day. Like, really take it step by step and just, you know, break it down in bite-sized pieces, and be open. Be open to new ideas and new ways of creating income, and don't be closed off, because you never know what could work for you, okay? In the career zone, we have the Five of Pentacles. For some of you, this can certainly mean that, you know, for some of you might be worried about losing a job or losing a contract, or your, you know, maybe your job isn't being extended, or whatever the case is, a project is being, you know, shut down. You know, for some of you might be losing, you know, a source of income, and that's very challenging and tough. But at the end of the day, a lot of this is fear that lingers. For some of you, you might be hearing that, you know, your company is looking at restructuring, or their, you know, projects are being rearranged or reevaluated. And for some of you who have been through that in the past, you're like, oh my gosh, I just, it's like bringing up old past traumas and fears of losing, you know, and having material loss, and having things that are, you know, taken from you, and, you know, losing stability in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So this is facing it head on, though. Ask yourself why you're being triggered. You know, like, if you're at work and you're hearing certain words and key things, like, you know, that you're like, oh, there's something's not right in my stomach. Like, I feel like something's not going, you know, in a positive direction. Start sprucing up your resume, sending it out, networking, you know, be proactive, right? Don't let something happen to you. Start to, you know, be more aggressive in what you want, and start to really follow that, you know. But also, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Like, get all the facts and before you like make a big decision and or like assume anything. For many of you, the Tower in reverse can mean that there is some job loss, and this is pretty strong, or there is some big impacts around industries at a global level. Not anything like maybe where you can control. This is something that like maybe it's a supply and demand. The supply chain's messed up. Whatever the case is, there could be some bigger things, variables that are, you know, making the industry you work in or the company you work in challenging, and it's not anything to do with you specifically. For some of you, you might be seeing some colleagues or peers go through a loss of a job, or you know, a loss of something. Maybe there's no bonuses this year, or merit increases have been halted for now. For some of you, this could be furlough. Don't lose hope though. Okay, let's pull one more card just because I feel like this one's not maybe the most bright, shiny. Yeah, there's something going on. Interesting. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Be really careful at work because I think everyone might be in a little bit of a place of like nervousness or fear and ego. There could be people around you that are planting the seeds of doubt or, you know, fear or loss, or, you know, and the Seven of Swords is somebody who's very sneaky. There could be somebody that is, you know, trying to figure out what's happening, and they're making matters worse. There's like a lot of gossip. Just stay out of it, okay? Don't get into that, because ultimately, whether it turns out to be something or nothing, it's going to make you mentally stress out, okay? So somebody who goes around and like shares information that they don't know all the facts, or they're trying to get people riled up, or, you know, trying to create this anxiety or this sense of panic, those people are, you know, stay away from them with a 10-foot pole. They're no good. And again, 10 of Cups in reverse. This might be, you know, if you're impacted in some way, shape, or form by any type of loss at your job or your career, or maybe you're asked to take, again, no pay or whatever the case is. I know that this might be, with the 10 of Cups in reverse, this is maybe the push you needed, that maybe you weren't really happy at where you work, or in your current job, where this is like the push that you need to like really be more assertive and aggressive to look for something else, okay? So again, be proactive if you can, if that's what you feel. In the relationship zone, we got the Queen of Swords, and then we got the Page of Swords in reverse. So for some of you, I'm going to pull a couple more cards, but the Queen of Swords can be very, very detached, very independent. The Queen of Swords, for some of you, is sometimes known as the Ice Queen, not emotionally available or not wanting to entertain a relationship or another person. Doesn't trust a lot of people, so very willing to cut someone out before anything even gets started. Again, this is a very independent energy. So for some of you, you know, you could be, for some of you, divorce might be a possibility. And for some of you, you know, this is about, maybe another person that's trying to get you riled up or like get you to react. If that is what you're going through, don't buy into what they're trying to do, hook, line, and sinker, because they're hoping that they can agitate you. They're hoping that they can get you all worked up, because, you know, people are going to remember how you reacted, not what they did. So be really careful if you're in a situation, and that's only going to be for a handful of you. Let's see if you're partnered. Let's see. I think for some of you, you know, there needs to be a pretty clear-cut decision or communication with your partner if you're in a relationship. I feel like for many of you in a relationship, you kind of just, it's not like you've gone through the motions, but all of a sudden you're kind of like, just, it's, the relationship has no direction. You're just in it, right? And this isn't something that you feel that is sustainable in the long term. The Queen of Swords is very, a very, very good communicator. The one thing I will tell you is that if you feel your relationship has kind of gone off the rails and you need to bring it back into focus, or like put more attention into the relationship and not just be in it, and not like really know if you guys are going in the same direction or not, what I would recommend, and this could be around like maybe some of you, like if you're moving in together, or like there's something that's like merging more of the relationship to make it even more committed. Some of you need to have this really clear-cut communication with your other half and say, look, this is what I want. I don't even know what's going on. You need to be very open and tell them what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you want, and what's maybe there's the lack of. But you need to be pretty open when if something is kind of just going all over the place. The Queen of Swords doesn't like disorder, okay? So one thing with the Queen of Swords, though, is that pretty sharp-tongued. This represents air energy. So again, remember to have your filter on. It's not about hurting anyone's feelings. It's just being open and direct and honest. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just watch your tone, because the Queen of Swords can be a little aggressive. Okay, so singles, let's see about you. Interesting. You know, we got the Three of Wands and the Sun in reverse. So might not be the best time to start anything right now. I think for a lot of you, it's like a part of you feels a little bit lonely. Not that you're unhappy though. You know, the Sun in the reverse is still a very positive card. It's not anything to be like worried or shooked about. But the Three of Wands is that, you know, you really need to, I think for a lot of you, you're like, I just want something to happen. And it's not. Like, you actually have to make effort, right? But again, with this Venus retrograde, it's probably not the best time to like be very gung-ho about trying to create a relationship. You really need to get to know somebody. And again, I think for some of you, you're looking at, because maybe that's the time of year, or people, you know, when you're in a relationship, you can go to all these parties and hang out and be with somebody and, you know, all that. But don't compare or contrast right now. This is, again, I feel like for some of you, you're not unhappy, but you would be like, oh, I really wish I could have somebody there. And, you know, when are they going to come in? You know, I always say this, when you find you, they find you. So really take this time during this Venus retrograde to focus on you, to really make it, you know, about what you want in your relationship. Act as if you're already in the relationship that you want. You know what I mean? Make it even that more powerful. But if there's some things that you feel like deep down you're still emotionally unavailable, or there's things that you are still triggered by, or you get frustrated or upset, if there's lack of trust, take the time and work through those things before you even try to enter into another relationship. Because what you're doing, if you don't fix it and focus on it now, you're going to bring that into this relationship, and this new person is going to be feeling your wrath and feeling like the irritation, the lack of trust, and the, you know, the stress and the deception. That has nothing to do with them, and that's not fair, okay? So take the time and really focus on yourself. These cards, I'm just shuffling. I'm not even pulling cards, but let me pull just an oracle card. I've shuffled these offline, by the way. I try to shuffle as much as I can offline because it's just takes so much time on camera. Okay. Oh, interesting. We'll take that card because it kind of flipped out. I read these as oracle cards. So again, you got the Eagle card. So really about being a leader, really about focusing on yourself and making the changes necessary. This is new opportunities and new hope. This is a different perspective and having clear vision. You know, the eagles fly high, right? So this is also about looking at your past, present, and what you want for your future. So again, this is a lot of introspective work right now going on. And we got the Sun card. So this is a really wonderful time of year, not only to be happy and well and, you know, with family, friends, and loved ones, but also just in general, please understand that if you're going through a tough time, this is only a moment in time, not your entire life. So focus on the things you need to work on yourself now. And I mean, really release. This is like, we're entering into another new year, right? So we get to start fresh. Really focus on the things and how you can let go. And take that deep breath and realize, you know what, I'm going to do the best I can. I'm evolving, and I'm not going to put so much damn pressure on myself this upcoming year. Be happy, merry, and bright. And thank you all for watching. Best wishes, lots of abundance and prosperity, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.